The recording and the streaming now.
Welcome everyone to the Ordinary Council meeting of the Wellington Shire of the 16th of May 2023. Members of the public gallery should note that Council records and publishes Council meetings via YouTube to enhance the accessibility of Council meetings to the broader Wellington community. These recordings are also archived and may be published on Council's website for viewing by the public or used for publicity or information purposes. At the appropriate times during the meeting, members of the gallery may address the Council, at which times their image, comments or submissions will be recorded. Members of the public who are not in attendance at the Council meeting but who wish to communicate with the Council via the online web form should lodge their questions or comments early in the meeting to ensure that their submissions can be dealt with at the end of the meeting. Please could gallery visitors, councillors and invited online attendees ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or in silent mode for the duration of the meeting. Our mission, working together to make a difference, we listen and lead to provide quality services that improve life for all. Wellington Shire Council acknowledges our offices are located on the traditional lands of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation. We pay our deep respects to their elders past, present and future, and acknowledge their ongoing cultural and spiritual connections to their land and waters. We have one apology tonight, which is Councillor Crosley on approved leave. Do we have any declarations of conflicts of interest?
Yes, Mayor. I have a general conflict of interest under section 127 in relation to the community grants allocation item 16.1.
Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Does anyone else have any conflicts? No? Item 3.1, adoption of minutes of the previous council meeting. Someone to move that. Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council adopt the minutes and resolutions of the Ordinary Council meeting of the 2nd of May 2023.
And someone do... Ooh, that was 3 in a row. I think we go with the ladies. Councillor Marr would second that. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Happy with that, Councillor Wood?
I am. Thank you, Mayor.
Item 4, business arising from previous meetings, there are none. Item 5, acceptance of late or urgent items, there are none. Item 6, notices of motion, there are none. Item 7, receiving of petitions or joint letters, there are none. Item 8, invite addresses, presentations or acknowledgements. Do we have any? Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. You asked me to review the recent publication, Empty Tomb, that was written by Ross Jackson. It's just interesting to note that the word cenotaph is actually derived, yes, that's the book there. The word cenotaph is derived from a Greek word which means empty tomb, just for the edification of councillors. And this publication by Ross was a brief history of the sale cenotaph. The cenotaph will be celebrating its centenary in 2024, and it's interesting to note it was originally situated at the intersection of Foster Street and Raymond Street. There's no indication actually in the publication as to why it was relocated to its present site. Ross has completed detailed research into the names that appear on the cenotaph. This work would have taken many hours to complete. It's interesting to note Ross has been unable to identify all the names and their history of their service in the war. Also, the connection between some of the names and the Salem district could not be verified. Ross clearly has a passion for the work as a military historian. Congratulations are due for the effort and research needed to put together the information. Anyone who has looked into the military history of one or two relatives would understand the time needed to compile information about one person, let alone the names on the cenotaph. The work completed by Ross shows the difficulty and hardships faced by all the servicemen and servicewomen who went off to serve in war. The service and sacrifice of the people whose names appear on the Sale cenotaph will never be forgotten whilst we have historians such as Ross telling their stories. Just thank you again to Ross for his efforts. That's basically the brief report.
Well said, Councillor Stevens.
Thank you,
It's a
Mayor.
fantastic book, and I say a lot of work has gone into the history, and thank you for doing that summary for us. Is there any other presentations or acknowledgements? No, I have one. Our beautiful botanic gardens don't just exist by council paying our great Parks and Gardens team to look after those. We also have an organisation which has been going and has a long history, which is called the Friends of Sale Botanic Gardens. On the 5th of May, Friday the 5th of May, 3 of our long-serving Friends of Botanic Gardens actually won a prestigious award. They were a Category 1 winner. It was the AAFFB award, or simply put as the Australian Botanic Garden Arboretum or Park. It's a big group, it's a prestigious award. The 3 people that were acknowledged was Heather Harrington, Diane Honey and Evelyn McAdam. It's a great recognition to the Friends of Botanic Gardens to see such a prestigious award actually taken out. It's a real credit to the team they have there. Those 3 ladies have been long-term dedicated workers at the Botanic Gardens and work hand in hand with our team as well. So congratulations to the award that they did get, because they are a real driving force to how those gardens look today. So congratulations and well deserved. Item 9, questions on notice. We have none. Item 10.1, Mayor and Council's Report, April 2023. Someone to move that. Councillor Tatterson.
Thank you, Mayor. I note that the Mayor and Councillor's report be noted.
And someone to second that? Councillor Stevens. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Tatterson.
Thanks, Mayor. The report's reasonably self-explanatory, but it does demonstrate the ongoing commitment of the councillors to the community and the attendance of a number of events. A few highlights: the race, the Rabina, that the Mayor attended. It's gone from strength to strength, which is a fantastic event which draw people from around the place to race the Rabina. The Yarram Water Tower opening, the unveiling of that, which is a final project in this terrific tourism feature for the Yarram Township, and congratulations to all involved and well done for the councillors in attending, and particularly the Anzac Day services, and I'd like to thank all the councillors that attended Anzac Day services. It is fantastic that Anzac Day, the fear of the previous generation was, as they died off, that would be the end of Anzac Day, but it's certainly gone from strength to strength. And as Councillor Stevens just mentioned, you know, the dedication and the commitment and the efforts of those previous generations fighting in the different wars, it's just hard to fathom the hardship that people went through to give us the freedoms and the democracy that we currently enjoy. So thanks to all the councillors for attending those events.
Well said, Councillor Tatterson. Item 11.1, Youth Mayor's Report. I'll invite our Youth Mayor, who is in the gallery, to come forward, Chloe, and read out your report. Thank you. It will be in a second. The CEO is just a bit slow, so go ahead, Chloe.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Good evening, council members. I'm Chloe Bethune, and this year I was elected as the Youth Mayor for the Wellington Shire Youth Council. This year so far, we have achieved quite a few things in such a short amount of time. Our leadership team has been elected after our induction in February, at which we presented our 2023 action plan. The plan for this year has a strong focus on mental wellbeing and ties closely into the 5 ways of wellbeing. The theme for the 2023 Wellington Youth Art Prize is Future Memories, and is something the whole team is very excited and passionate to develop. The entries are now open, and we hope this challenges local young artists to show what the world will look like in a few years to come. Another project developed by a previous youth council, which this year's team are continuing, is the Youth Illustrated Zine. We felt like the stories and the purpose of the zine is providing a space for us to share good stories and current stories and share experiences, basically shining a light on our young people, and it is something worth pursuing. The working group is currently working and curating on their autumn edition, which is close to being published and is ready to be published. Maffra Secondary College invited us out to their leadership day mid-last term, and 3 youth councillors attended and ran games to work on team building. We hope to continue to work with all local high schools and across our shire this term. 5 youth councillors completed a first aid course at Aqua Energy and with East Gippsland Youth Ambassadors, giving those that attended their first aid certificate. In the school holidays, 11 of us went to the Freezer Summit in Melbourne, which was a big hit, as we learnt about live music production, how to set up a microphone, and design our dream all-ages event. On Anzac Day, youth councillors attended the services at Sale and Stratford, along with Councillor Bai and Councillor Wood. Next, we turn our attention to helping young people get active and finding ways to help our community. We have been approached to help run a colour run in Yarram, and we see this as a perfect opportunity to run a fun, active event for young people in the coastal ward. We will work on the winter edition of Youth Illustrated, encouraging others to contribute and share their voice. We are also aiming to participate in events that celebrate reconciliation and NAIDOC Week, and begin our planning for Upswing. Tomorrow morning, I will stand at the raising of the yellow rainbow flag, in acknowledgement of International Day Against Homophobia, Biophobia and Transphobia, or Ida Hotbit Day, as I believe it is important for us to be inclusive of all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chloe. Well done. Can I ask someone to move that, please? Councillor Wood. Can you please just turn your microphone on?
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council receive the Youth Mayor's quarterly report.
And seconded by Councillor Rossetti. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Wood.
Well done to our Youth Mayor. That was really good, and I think we should all be very, very proud of the young people that are representing us. They're a wonderful bunch, and please pass on my congratulations to them all. Thank you.
Well said. Item 12, Delegates Reports. Do we have any? I don't think we do. No. Item 13.1, Chief Executive Officer's Report, April 2023. Someone to move that? Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move that the Chief Executive Officer's report be received.
And someone to second that? Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried.
Thank you, Mayor. During the month of April, our CEO met or had meetings an additional 17 out of his normal day. It was a high-powered month, meeting with important government MPs, such as Minister McBain MP, Darren Chester MP, Tim Bull MP, Denny O'Brien MLA, and Dean Rossetti. I hope I said that right. Minister for Energy and Resources. Rossetti, not Rossetti. As well as that, our CEO also met with the Committee for Wellington, monthly general meeting, met with Daniel Miller, CEO of the Gunlow-Coonai Land, Water and Aboriginal Corporation, and that's pretty much most of the important stuff. Once again, our CEO maintains strong connections with important facets and people within our community and shire, and is front and centre of ongoing discussions, and well done to the CEO. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mackenzie. Item 14.1, Assembly of Councillors. Someone to move that, please. Councillor Marr.
I'm happy to move that the Council note and receive the attached Assembly of Councillor records for the period 24th of April 2023 to the 7th of May 2023.
And someone to second that. Councillor Stevens. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Marr. Nothing to add? Thank you. Item 15.1, monthly planning decisions, March 2023. Someone to move that?
And I'm happy to move that, Mayor.
Councillor Marr.
I move that Council note the report on recent planning permit trends and planning application determinations between the 1st of March and 31st of March 2023.
And someone to second that? Don't all jump up to... Oh, we just three. Councillor Mackenzie, thank you. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Marr.
Thank you. Our statutory planners have delegated authority under the Planning and Environment Act 1987 to make planning decisions. Our Wellington planning team have been long recognised for their achievements in this space, and when you look at the trend report of the decisions issued in 60 days, it can truly be seen just how well they've performed. And the figures date back to, I think it is November 2014. So well done to them. Over the month of March, 50 decisions have been made. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marr. Item 15.2, proposed sale of council property 32 Paradise Beach Road, Paradise Beach. Someone to move that, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Stevens.
I would like to move that one council-determined property located at 32 Paradise Beach Road, Paradise Beach, being Lot 1, Untitled Plan 93699P, more particularly described as Volume 10098, Folio 230, is surplus to council requirements and therefore may be considered for sale. And I think I'll move that items 2, 3 and 4, as set out in the recommendation, be adopted as part of this motion.
And seconded by Whisker by Councillor Marr. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This particular block is surplus to council requirements and is part of a restructure lot that councillors will remember is part of our ongoing plan to resolve all the outstanding issues for land along the 90 Mile Beach. And of course, I think these issues were also part of the consideration by our actions over a number of years from the Ombudsman, and where possible, the outcome is to try and sell these blocks. We're proposing to sell this block to an adjoining owner who owns 3 other blocks, and so that overall there will be 4 original lots that become a larger restructure lot. And so we will go through the normal process to sell surplus land. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Item 15.3, proposed sale of council property 12 Firefly Road and 9 to 11 Shoreward Way, Golden Beach. Someone to move that, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm happy
Stevens.
to move item 15.3 as soon as my finger moves to the right spot on my agenda. Yes, so I'm happy to move that one, council determined property located at 12 Firefly Road and 9 to 11 Shoreward Road, Golden Beach, being lots 3029, 3030 and 3048 of Lodge Plan 56682, more particularly described as Volume 08391 Folio 636, Volume 08391 Folio 637 and Volume 08391 Folio 655, is surplus to council requirements and therefore may be considered for sale, and points 2, 3 and 4 to be included as part of that motion as per the council agenda.
And someone to second that? Councillor Marr. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thank you. Well, this block is basically in the same situation as the previous one that we just talked about. Mayor, this is again another restructure block where the neighbour is interested in purchasing. I think we have 2 lots in this particular sale, and so that we will, yes, proceed to sell that block. So it's a proper restructure size block along 90 Mile Beach, and we will go through the normal process to sell this block as we're required under the Local Government Act. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Item 15.4, Crown Land Caravan Park leases, Woodside Beach Caravan Park and Loch Sport Caravan Park. Someone to move that, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Mackenzie.
I wish to move that Council authorise the Chief Executive Officer to finalise the negotiation of new leases on Crown Land reserves for the lease, development and management of Woodside Beach Caravan Park, excuse me, Loch Sport Caravan Park and obtain all required approvals, including from the Department of Energy, Environment and Climate Action, and point 2 as read.
And do I someone to second that? Second by Councillor Tatterson. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. And before I go to Councillor Mackenzie, I'm pleased to announce Deersford Proprietary Limited for the lease, development and management of the Woodside Beach Caravan Park, and Ray and Belinda Johnson for the lease, development and management of the Loch Sport Caravan Park. Congratulations to both. Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you, Mayor. This will be quite a lengthy explanation because it's important for clarity in our community, because this really only happens once every probably 21 years. So on behalf of the Department of Energy, Environment and Climate Action, which is now DECA, Wellington Shire Council is the appointed Committee of Management under the Crown Land Reserve Act 1978 and acts as lessor, in brackets landlord, of leases at Loch Sport Caravan Park and Woodside Beach Caravan Park. In accordance with DECA, policy and guidelines, public advertising and tender process commenced in January 2023 to seek new leases for both parks, noting the existing leases expired in November 2022. Hence, a number of council workshops regarding Crown Land Caravan Park leases have been completed, where key issues and topics were discussed and included, such as a general outline of Crown Land Caravan Park leases, specific details of each park, a competitive public tender process as required by DECA, engaging a specialist consultant, evaluation criteria, market rental reviews under the Value of General Victoria, and evaluation panel composition consistent with DECA guidelines. The tenders opened on Monday, the 16th of January 2023, and closed at 5 p.m. Monday, the 27th of February 2023, and were promoted through industry networks, industry associations, and printing advertising in local publications. Tenders were required to address a number of criteria, such as maximising the finance and economic stimulus for the Wellington Shire Council and the community, procure a quality caravan park service, including the investment in capital upgrades for the development of caravan park facilities, select a well-credentialed partner and financial credible applicant to operate the caravan park with appropriate experience and capability, achieve a relevant and mutually beneficial lease, including development options, deliver a range of accommodation and caravan and camping options, park management, maintenance and cleaning, and complete a suitable capital works program. Subsequent to that, council workshop was also completed on the 4th of April 2023, following the close of tenders, where the following details were disclosed: the tender submissions, the overall overview of the elevation panels and preferred applicants, which the Mayor has since mentioned. Consistent with discussions at previous council workshops, lease terms and special conditions, together with standard conditions to be incorporated into the lease, are the term 21 years with no options or renewals, commencement the 1st of July 2023, rental is to be benchmarked against the Value of General Victoria assessed current market rental, capital investment by tenant in accordance with agreed master plans, rent reviews CPI annually and market review every 5 years, outgoings, tenant to pay all outgoings, and the assignment of the lease is not permitted within the first 3 years. Finally, now as previously noted, Council has authorised the Chief Executive Officer to finalise the negotiation of new leases on Crown Land Reserve for the lease, development and management of Woodside Beach Caravan Park and Loch Sport Caravan Park, and obtain all required approvals, including the Department of Energy, Environment and Climate Action. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Mackenzie. Item 15.5, proposed sale part 110 to 112 Grant Lawler Street in Yarram. Someone to move that, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Stevens.
I'd like to move that one, council resolve that property described as part 110 to 112 Grant Lawler Street, Yarram, as shown on the plan within and more specifically referred as lots 6, 7 and 8, Plan Subdivision 9386, Volume 6, Site 58, Folio 459, is not required for council purposes and points 2 and 3, as set out in the council agenda, be adopted.
And someone to second that motion? Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I should preface my comments by saying that at one stage I would have had a conflict of interest in relation to this proposal because I did own a commercial property at the eastern end of the particular block backing onto Grant Street. But seeing as how I sold that property almost 3 years ago, I no longer have a conflict of interest. And I just want to say that in case anyone thinks, what's he doing moving this motion? So this proposal is to sell this western part of the property to the Victorian Health Building Authority for an exciting project, the building of a new ambulance station in Yarram. And the particular block was purchased many years ago by the Alberton Shire. There was sort of anecdotal evidence that the block was originally purchased for the purpose of council trying to attract another supermarket to town, but it was well before I came along in 1986, so it's all a bit lost in the mist of times, the original purpose. It's been used informally as a car park, and also the western end that we're selling was basically only used as a sort of a gravel depository for a number of years, and so this proposed purpose will be really, really good and beneficial to the community. And I need to signal too that I'm interested in pushing to have us fully construct the eastern end, which would be great benefit for car parking for the commercial area. And also I'm hopeful we might be able to get in some caravan park and long vehicle spaces, but that's a whole other story, of course. But so this is going to be an exciting project, and I congratulate Ambulance Victoria for wanting to proceed with this project. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Item 15.6, adoption of updated funding and procurement of public infrastructure works policy. Someone to move that, please.
I'd move that.
Councillor Marr.
Thank you. I move that Council adopt the updated funding and procurement of public infrastructure works policy with only one minor change to the review period as attached.
And someone to second that? Councillor Ripper. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Marr.
Thank you, Mayor. The policy at this time is still current. However, given the complexity of implementing this work within the policy, it's been recommended that the policy is reviewed every 2 years as opposed to the current one. So that's basically what this is about.
Thank you, Councillor Marr. Item 16.1, Community Assistant Grant, March 2023.
Yes, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest under section 127 in relation to this matter.
Thank you. Councillor Stevens, we'll wait till you leave the chamber. And can I get someone to move that, please?
Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Ripper, would you like to turn your microphone on?
Certainly, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'd like to move that Council approve the allocation of Community Assistant Grants March 2023 funds as detailed in Attachment 1, Community Assistant Grants March 2023. Recommendation and applicants being notified of the outcome of their applications.
And seconded by Councillor Mackenzie. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Ripper.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to give you some background regarding the grants, and it gives me great pleasure. This is an area where the council give back to the community, providing, I will read through the relevant paragraphs regarding applying for a grant. Our Community Assistant Grant Scheme encourages community outcomes in line with Council's Wellington 2031 vision. The Council Plan 2021 to 25 and Healthy Wellington 2021 to 25. It aims to build community capacity by encouraging participation, promoting inclusion, growing partnerships, providing learning opportunities and supporting social connectedness by utilising and activating our open spaces, community and cultural facilities. Not-for-profit community groups operating in Wellington Shire can apply for a community assistance grant over $2,501 to $6,000. There are annually 2 community assistance grants rounds in March and August. Applications which successfully meet the criteria are eligible to be prioritised for funding. For the March 2023 round, 34 applications totalling $190,802.30 received. 21 applications recommended for funding of $1,105,981.70. Full application and recommendation details are attached at Attachment 1. Applications are assessed by a panel made up of staff from Council's leadership team. The applications are initially assessed against guidelines and then prioritised using assessment criteria as outlined in Attachment 2. Each application is assessed on its benefit to the community, ability to fill a community need, project planning and capacity of the applicant to deliver the project. The panel provides advice and recommendations to Council based on assessment criteria and funding guidelines. The community assistance grants and the applications that have come through for March 2023 is Maffra Dramatic Society. That was the activity was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I'm giving you guidelines so that if those people within the community groups want to apply, it will give you a bit of an idea of what you can apply for. But always remember, contact the relevant staff member at Council will give you guidance because they are open to everyone. They will give you guidance whether you fit into the category for an application. And this is very important that I hear in the community. Sometimes people say, how come they got that? How come? Well, you must ask, first of all, if you fit into the particular guidelines. So going back, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, to produce the musical Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the Wedge Performing Arts Centre in Sale in August 2023. They received $6,000. Sale Maffra District Kennel Club and McAllister All Breeds Kennel Obedience Club, 3 days of Breed Championship Dog Show with international judges, received $6,000. Bryaglong Early Learning Uniting, an outdoor learning and breakaway space to create a sensory garden and build a new shed storage to store children's play equipment and gardening tools, $6,000. Gormandale Mechanics Institute, replacement of hall seating to improve accessibility for all, $4,077.70. St John's Ambulance Australia Victoria Inc., recruitment drive of new volunteers from across Wellington Shire and provide essential training, $3,670. Port Albert Progress Association, New Year's Eve Twilight Market and Fireworks event, $6,000. Paradise and Golden Beach Senior Citizens Club Inc., Senior Citizen Friendship Trips, Longford Horse and Pony Club. Go back again to the senior sits at Golden Beach and Paradise Beach, $5,293. Moving forward now, we're going back to the Longford Horse and Pony Club. Longford Horse and Pony Club upgrade and horse yard, $6,000. Maffra Golf Club, renovating club rooms. Painting 70s pine panelling, rendering dark brick interior walls and replacing 20 old round tables with new square tops, $6,000. Glen Maggie Mechanics Institute, kitchen improvements, install air conditioning, screen back door and servery shutter, $6,000. Currajong Community Group, repair plumbing to toilet block at Currajong Memorial Hall, $5,970. Rosedale Football Netball Club, replace storage user shed. The existing shed was deteriorating with a new shed to the same location on the western side of the netball courts at the reserve, $6,000. Loch Sport, course improvements and development, maintenance and address health and safety issues at the Loch Sport Golf Club, $5,363.60. So there's just a number. There was 30 odd in that area, and of course there were some who didn't get across the line, but all these can be found on the agenda of our council meeting tonight. So it's all there for the public to see. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Ripper. All the ones that were read out then all apply, but as Councillor Ripper said, some weren't successful, so we won't mention the ones that were successful. We want people to apply and have a go at getting some grants, so thank you, Councillor Ripper. I'll just get Councillor Stevens back in the room. Thank you, Mayor. I apologise, my chair's pushed out a bit too far. That's quite right. Stevens. We'll just wait for Councillor Stevens to resume his position. Item 17, further gallery and online comments. We have no one in the gallery. Mr CEO, no. Online. We have one that I know of.
Yes, Mayor, we do have, just bear with me for 2 seconds. We did receive one, if you just bear with me for 2 seconds. Sorry, Mayor, just 2 seconds. Mayor, we received Council received a letter from the Gippsland Pride initiative, tomorrow being Ida Hobbit Day, as our Youth Mayor has pointed out. And I'll just read out the request from the Gippsland Pride Initiative. Gippsland Pride Initiative Inc. asks Council to provide a summary of LGBTQIA+ commitments, policies or relevant plans already in place informing Council services and activity, and also to please provide an indication of any planned Ida Hobbit events or efforts to take place on or around this day in your shire. So, Mayor, we will be raising the rainbow flag tomorrow at the Reeve Street roundabout, and we'll certainly respond to this letter with Council's initiatives that we do in support of diversity, and we'll copy that to all councillors for information, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr CEO. There's nothing else? No. In that case, we need to move into closed session. Councillor Rossetti.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the meeting be closed to public pursuant to section 662 of the Local Government Act 2020 to consider matters under section 66(5)(b) as defined by section 3(1) being F, personal information being information which, if released, would result in the unreasonable disclosure of information about any person or their personal affairs. And someone to second that motion? Councillor Ripper. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried.